Hi, Dr. Barak and Mabuhay Bizay TTM 3B. So, are you having trouble computing manually the international fares and ticketing? Well, wipe your worries away because we are here to save your day. So, together with me is Miss Patricia Lauraine Torres, who will be discussing about the fare calculation, and your speaker Sydney is assigned in manual ticketing entry, and Miss Regine Molina for automated ticketing entry. So, without any further ado, let's get started.
To begin the fare construction computation, take a look at the given itinerary. The flight will take from Frankfurt, Germany to Hong Kong via Lufthansa. From there, Philippine Airlines will take you to Manila, Philippines, then will be going to Bangkok, Thailand via the same airline. The first step is to identify the ticket point mileage per leg through the use of the mileage calculator. Type the first leg, FRA to HKG, giving you a ticketed point mileage of 5,690 miles. On to the next leg, HKG to MNL with 701 miles, and the last leg, MNL to BKK with 1,370 miles. Sum that up and you will have a total ticketed point mileage of 7,761. We also have to identify the traffic conferences of each leg. Frankfurt is TC2 in Europe, while Hong Kong, Manila, and Bangkok are all in Southeast Asia under TC3. Afterwards, identify the FCP or fare construction point. That would be FRA BKK with a global indicator of EH or Eastern Hemisphere, since the traffic conferences are from TC2 and TC3. NUC or neutral unit of construction will be taken from this list. Since we have an FCP of FRA BKK, we will take a look at its corresponding NUC and double check if the class is the same as the given fare type. As you can see, the fare type is Y and the sector FRA BKK also has Y class with NUC of 1951.53. For the rule, we'll leave it blank. MPM or maximum permitted mileage is also given, and that would be 7,255. A little technique I personally use is before typing in the TPM, I will first check if there will be an EMA or extra mileage allowance to check if there will be a corresponding TPM deduction to the given itinerary. Let us take a look. We are looking at areas 2 and 3, and as you can see, our origin would be Europe. Yes, there is Europe, however, there is no Southeast Asia under TC3 as the destination and transit, which means EMA is NIL. That is only when you will copy the TPM, after checking the TPM deduction. Moving forward to EMS or extra mileage surcharge. Since the TPM is greater than the MPM, we have to divide the two, and that will give us an answer of 1.06 having 10% EMS. For the HIP or higher intermediate point, we have to take a look at which NUC is higher than what we selected earlier. If we have a low NUC of 1,951.53, we will have a high NUC of 2,288.89 with a CT pair of FRA MNL. Again, for the rule, we leave it blank. For the computation of AF or actual fare, since EMS is given, we will use the formula high NUC times EMS, and then add again the high NUC. But let us say that there is no EMS. You will only have to choose whichever is higher between HIP and NUC. But let us focus on the given scenario. After the computation, we will have a 2,517.779 as our actual fare. Afterwards, we will only use check if there is HIP. If none, put NIL. But in this case, we will be computing for the check beginning with high NUC minus low NUC, giving you a BHD or backhaul difference of 337.36. Then add again the high NUC, giving you a 2,626.25 one-way minimum. Then minus the actual fare, giving you a price difference of 108.48. For the total, we will choose which value is higher between the NUC, HIP, one-way minimum, and actual fare. And that would be 2,626.25. But it doesn't end there. Since our itinerary has a Hong Kong transit, we need to add a Q tax of 4.23 to the total, giving us a 2,630.48 total. For the IROE or IATA rates of exchange, we need to take a look at the IROE table, the currency used by Germany, since it is our country of commencement. And that would be EUR 0.810635 with the rule of full adjustment, H1 over 2, adding 1 to the whole number while remaining the 2 decimal places. And the final step to the fare construction point would be the LCF or local currency fare. You only have to multiply the total by the IROE, and that would be EUR 2,132.35. Applying the rule, we will have an LCF of EUR 2,133.35.
Alright, let's proceed to the manual ticketing entry, which is a simpler version since all the information are available in the previous entry. Alright, in this column we can see the from to which we will input our itinerary, including the France, Hong Kong, Manila, and Bangkok. And below the Bangkok, don't forget to put the dash line, which it indicates that nothing follows. The next column are the carriers. So first we have the Lufthansa or the LH, and followed by 2PR, which is Philippine Airlines. For the third column, we are going to put the fare calculation. So since we have an EMS value, we are going to put the 10M, and below that we are going to identify the highest MUC in the given. So it would be the HIP, FRA, MNL, and below that is its equivalent value, which is 2,288.89. For the next rows, we are going to put the HIP city pair and then the NUC city pair. And after this, we are going to put the price difference value, which is 108.48. This problem includes a Hong Kong route, so we are going to put the HKG and MNL in the first column, and for the second column are symbols of X and Q, which signifies it is an X, but in reality it should be an X sign, yet the Excel has no kind of features like that, so we are not going to do that. For the third column, we are going to put the Q tax value, which is 4.23. Alright, for this part, in order to get the NUC value, don't be confused and just take a look in the previous entry in the total part, which has the same value, okay? We need to put the 2,630.48 here. Alright, after taking a look and carefully inputting our NUC, we're going to copy the IROE value, which is 0.810635. Last but not the least, we have the final answer of Euro 2133.35.
Moving forward to our automated ticketing entry, on this part, we have to remember the rule between letters and numbers. When letters are consecutive, there must be space in between. While on the other hand, if it is letters to numbers, we don't use space. Looking at our itinerary, we begin with FRA, space LH, space HKG, space VR, space MNL, space, then insert the Hong Kong Q tax and its value of 4.23. Then proceed again with the carrier PR, space BKK, since it is the end of our itinerary. We now jump to the fare calculation, beginning with 10M, space FRA MNL 2288.89, then the fee that stands for price difference, space FRA MNL, space FRA BKK, and the price difference value of 108.48 without space. We no longer need to include in our automated ticketing entry the HKG MNL and Q tax section since we already included it earlier. With that, we continue the automated ticketing entry with NUC of 2630.48 and of course the word and then space IROE of 0.810635.
And that ends our discussion for international fares and ticketing computation. We made it as clear and understandable as possible for you to easily grasp the computation. So once again, I am Sydney.
I am Regine Simolina.
And I am Patricia Lauraine Torres. Mabuhay!
Mabuhay!